Here's a quick review of the DODOcase, which has been very in demand since it was first released along with the iPad a few months ago. It's been very popular because of its distinctive design. It's made to resemble a moleskin notebook, which, in and of itself is very nice. It fits in with other books if you have them stacked up. It's a neat little piece of camouflage. They are handmade in San Francisco. If you search around on video or on YouTube, I'm sure you can find a video of the books actually being made by traditional bookbinders. Features are, just like a moleskin, it's got a hardcover binding on the front and the back with a faux leather exterior. It's got an elastic band to keep it closed when you're not using it. And it has a red cloth interior and a bamboo frame around the edge. The iPad is held in place by little rubber bumpers. And this, for me, is where the DODOcase starts to fall apart, quite literally. The bumpers are intended to hold it in place just by pressure on all four corners. And according to their instructions, when you put it in, you're supposed to be able to just put in the bottom end first and compress it and then push it in. And on their videos, it looks like it's very difficult to do that. But what I found the very first time I put it in is it just kind of dropped right in. And something I had noticed on other people's reviews is that as soon as you put it in, one of the corners, seems to be typically this one, starts to just fall right out. And the first time I put it in, all I had to do was lean it forward and it popped right out. And this is very different than DODOcase's own video, which they posted online, where they're actually shaking it upside down. And they warn you that it's not intended for rough play, but I think that they should hold it in place a little bit better than simply having to tilt it forward and having it pop right out of there. To DODOcase's credit, when I emailed them after I got the case to express concern about the fact that the bumpers didn't seem to be holding it in place, they offered to send me an additional set of bumpers, which they said that I should put over top of the ones that are already there. And so obviously they know it's a problem. And I think it's something that they're really going to have to address, because if you're paying $60 for a case for your iPad, I think it should hold it in place without some additional measures. They also recommend that if you need more than just the bumpers, that you can put Velcro on the back corners of your iPad and stick it in that way, but I'm sorry, but that just doesn't cut it for a $60 case for me. Moving on to some of the other features, like a lot of other iPad cases, it's made so that if you fold it back on itself like that, it provides you a little bit of an angle, which is nice, but compared to other cases, including the Apple branded one, it doesn't give you as much of an angle to be able to rest your hands on it and type. And because of the bamboo frame that's around the edge, it also sits up a little higher, so it's just a little awkward. I also find it awkward to hold, because if you're reading or doing anything on your iPad, you have to basically hold it by that side, and it's just kind of floppy. It's not a very comfortable case. And they also say that you can use it as a video stand by putting it up like this, but depending on what type of surface you're on, you have to put it in there very carefully, and it's just a little precarious. And then if you add on top of that the fact that the iPad just drops right out, that's not acceptable to me. My other concern about the case is its durability. Because it is made like a traditional book, I'm afraid that after not very much use, it's going to start to get a little worn on the corners. I've heard quite a few other people say that they buy the case to protect the iPad, and then what they're doing is trading off worrying about damaging their iPad for worrying about damaging their case, because eventually this binding is going to start to loosen up. This elastic, we all know what elastic bands are like. I can't imagine that's going to last very long. So, in short, very nicely made. It's a beautiful design. I was very hopeful that this would be a great looking and feeling case. It's definitely classy, but in my opinion, it's not safe enough to perform its intended function, which is to protect your iPad. And there you have it, the DODOcase.